Welcome to our Muir Windlass upgrade video. In this video, it's not going to be our cinematic, lifestyle, typical boat life content. Rather, it's more going to be raw, informational, tutorial, installation based. And yeah, I wanted to put something together. I figured it would be helpful to you guys since there's not too much information about windlasses on YouTube, and hopefully someone else can find some value out of it. So yeah, hope you enjoy, and a big shout out to Muir for helping us make this happen. Okay guys, we are making a big upgrade today. Finally getting our windlass upgraded to the bigger version. Now we have a Muir windlass, and we are going to be going from the VR 1250 to the VR 2200, which is going to be much better for our big heavy anchor and 3/8 chain. So really excited to do this. It was one of the worst experiences on the boat when windlass seized up and died and had to manually pull up that 105-pound chain. Now it doesn't sound too heavy on paper, but trying to pull that up and get it up on the bow pulpit, and then once it's up, be able to secure it in place, it was quite the challenge. So yeah, I'm excited to get this fixed. This one is going to be hopefully a simple install. It's going to be an exact bolt pattern of my existing one, and just a bigger motor and gearbox, and hopefully the fiberglass around it will be in good condition that I could just swap it out. Fingers crossed on that one, but time will tell. So I just took the windlass out of the box and it's all comes together assembled, which is great. This is the VR Storm 2200. It is beautiful, and it's going to be a nice step up to the one that I currently have, which might be 23 years old. So I just took it apart really quick to make sure that it's not it's already greased up. Otherwise I would have to go run and get some grease, but it is, so that's great news. So now I'm just going to go into my anchor locker right now and start taking it apart. I'm going to take the motor off first because that is going to make it quite lighter, and we'll go from there. But yeah, hopefully it's pretty easy. I want to make sure that the electric is off. That would be pretty bad to get shocked. Pretty stupid. I got a lot of chain in here, so I am hopeful that I can drop this low enough without moving the chain, because that would be annoying to pull all that out. I do have my moving blanket here, just because I expect it to be somewhat messy of a job. But yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. So I am taping the F1 position wire with blue masking tape, and that way I know it's the bottom wire, because I'm going to be moving stuff around quite a bit and it's probably going to get confusing and I might lose it. So I'm going to do that. Should grab a bowl for these. Had to bring in the big dog blade. Just took a ride to the hardware store. Let's see how this one goes. So I should explain that since the gearbox was seized and the rod wouldn't spin, I couldn't just pull and separate the blower housing unit from the top. So I had to take a hacksaw to it and get the job done. No wonder why that was so hard. My goodness, man, this thing is thick. The gearbox itself is spinning. I guess the housing up here is what's seized up. Well, don't need this anymore. Next was to unmount the windlass from the deck, disconnect the chain from the anchor and pull it through into the anchor locker, and then I had to take a multi-tool to cut off the remaining adhesive. I think it was 3M 4400 from the bottom of the windlass to the deck, and we were finally able to pull it through. Okay, it's a new day. I found a little bit of soft core where the anchor chain drops into the anchor locker. So I dug that all out, let it dry for 2 days. Now I have this thickened epoxy adhesive that I'm gonna inject into the open core. But I'm quite impressed with the Navigator because it's got about 3/8 thick of fiberglass, which is why it's still very, very strong without the core right there. But I have the hole covered up so no moisture was getting in last night, but we're gonna open this up inject this stuff into there, let it cure, and then I'm still waiting on a larger hole saw so I could dig out the other hole and then we could drop the new windlass in. But we're pretty much there, guys. Really, really nice. I can't wait to be done and get back into an anchor or two. Now we just gotta wait for the hole saw to come in and we'll be dropping her in and getting it all wired up and testing it out. I also got 2-gauge wire yesterday. I'm gonna be swapping out the 6-gauge wire that was on it to the 2-gauge from the solenoid box. 6-gauge is a little underpowered even though it's only like a foot long or 2 feet long. The line going to the solenoid box is, I think, 1/0 or 2/0 wire, so that's plenty good. But yeah, I just wanted a little bit bigger, more peace of mind, so upgraded the wire too. And the windlass is down here. We're almost done. Got the 71mm hole saw with a 2.5-inch hole inside. So this is going to help me do a step down to expand the current hole that's in place. So let's see how this goes. Okay, we did it. We got it ready to go. Now we just need to put the gasket on and get her in. Whew. That's freaking awesome, man. We did it. Okay, I didn't get a good job filming this, but after I put the gasket on, I also took some 3M 4400 and applied it to the gasket on the underside where it's going to meet the deck. After that, I also applied more 300 or 4400 around the perimeter of the windlass, making sure that there is no water entry. And I also took it to the inside of where the anchor chain enters the anchor locker, just in case I wanted to dump 4400 all over this. And then lastly, I put 4400 around the shaft of the housing that is through the deck as well. The windlass shaft is in, it's mounted down. So next up is to add some marine grease to everything, and then we are going to slide the gearbox and the motor on, and we're gonna run the new thicker wires to it, and then we'll give it a test. Good stuff. It's gonna be a little heavy. I was told to put the key in before you get it mounted, because it apparently just push it in and then it'll lock itself in place, so that's good. Woo! Look at that, baby. That's some good stuff. Let's go. It's time to put some 4200 up in that crack up there. And I realize it's going to be a little bit harder to run the wires now that I put the gear in to get it onto the solenoid box, but it's okay, we will make it work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got it wired up. We got the 2-gauge wire in there. We got the ground updated. Yeah, we're going to test it out. Turn the breaker on and see if she spins. Hopefully. Okay, after making this video, I realized that I forgot to complete it with the protective tape. So this is petroleum oil-based tape. Petroleum tape. So the tape is coated in like oil and petroleum, and what it does is prevents this from getting corroded. As the anchor pulls this up, it could bang on the motor and the gearbox and stuff. So the thought is to put this tape, wrap it around it, and it'll help just protect it from getting scratched up, dinged up, and protect it. So now I gotta move this chain out. There it is. All right, well, we are a couple, maybe a week or two since I got this installed, and here she is, the Muir windlass 2200. We've anchored 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 times so far, and it's pulling up the anchor very easily. It's a lot less jerky and just buttery smooth. So a big shout out to Muir for being super responsive when we reached out to them back in Salem, New Jersey. It was a Saturday or Sunday night, I can't really remember, and I think Saturday, and I copied them in our story on Instagram, and they DM'd me right away. I was shocked because it was the weekend, 1, and then 2, they're in Australia timing, and we're here on the East Coast of the US, so yeah, the time difference is pretty substantial. But big shout out to Muir. Their customer service was really good, and they answered all my questions about the upgrade, making sure it was the same footprint as the VR 1250. So we're stoked. Thank you again, and we got it done.